For the first time, the 911 calls in the moments after LeBron James' son, Bronny James, a basketball star himself, collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. You can hear in the call just how concerned they were for LeBron James' son. Matt Gupman in Los Angeles tonight.
Tonight, that urgent 911 call, moments after Bronny James suffered a sudden cardiac arrest during a basketball practice at USC.
So listen to me, so, okay, your ambulance here now.
Okay, all right, sir, I'm gonna send help there. Don't hang up, sir, don't hang up. Okay, let's get next to him, please, okay? How old is he? Is there a doctor on scene with them or a registered nurse?
No, there's no doctor on scene.
Help is already on the way, okay? Fire department, paramedics already on the way, okay?
Yeah, okay.
In a statement, Cedars-Sinai Hospital crediting James' successful treatment with the swift and effective response by USC Athletics medical staff, adding that James arrived at the hospital neurologically intact and stable.
LeBron James finally came out and told us what happened when Bronny James, his son, went into cardiac arrest during a practice at the University of Southern California on July 24th, 2023. He went on a McAfee show and he explained exactly what happened. Let's get into it.
Bronny, your son, he's obviously had that inspiration in the home, and you talked about it since years ago, wanting to play long enough to play with your son. So you obviously visualized that. How was the real moment with that happening? Because I know me seeing it, seeing the Griffeys there, seeing it, like that was just an unbelievable moment. So what was that like for you, really actually being in it?
Like, seeing that pop fly head towards King Griffey Sr. and then see Junior over there right before the ball got to his glove and he snatched it out the air and run back to the dugout like laughing at his pops. Like, that was a cool ass moment. And for that moment, that game, that home opener versus Minnesota, and then just over there and see Griffey Jr., man, the kid, and seeing his pops over there and us getting that picture at half court and then us going out on the floor and having that moment. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there.
You're floating.
I'm floating. And I can
right there.
I can only imagine where Bronny was. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. At some point we will, but I wasn't even there. Like, I might have been in the rafters. I might have been at home. My body may have been at home watching the game, watching the moment. I completely was not there. And but damn, that was an unbelievable moment, man, for me to be able to like have that dream, be able to speak it into existence, for it to come to fruition, for my mom and my wife and my daughter and my youngest son to be there. It was like, I started thinking about everything from what the hell he went through not less than a year before with his
he almost died?
Yeah, his cardiac arrest, man.
That came out of nowhere, seemingly.
That came out of nowhere. It was a birth defect that practically, quite honestly, if he never played sports or he never like started to become, strong and run fast and all those stuff, we would never have to worry about it. But as he got stronger and things of that nature, it was just something inside his heart that was just pounding at his heart and pounding at his lungs that, unfortunately, we had the incident. And thankfully, a lot of these kids we've been seeing a lot lately in sports, not only in basketball but in football.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we was able to catch it. And to all the families out there that haven't had the opportunity to catch their kids before it gets to the point where they're not here anymore, like to see that happen to Bronny and for him to be able to play that same year after that happened, at USC, and then less than a year later be drafted by the Lakers, and then in that fall we go out there together. So that's why I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like we walked in together, but I was not there.
That's a dad moment. That's really cool.
Yeah,
People forget, you're only one name now, LeBron, but you're still a human too. And I assume seeing, your baby boy, get a chance to experience his dream. Then obviously that led to the thing with Stephen A. talking about him and how critical everybody has been of Bronny. And I think that's a pressure that a second generation star has on him.
Yeah, for
His
sure.
whole life he's had that. It feels like he is very I mean, he's like a 55-year-old, it looks like, the way he kind of handles it all, and I think you've even said that as well.
Yeah.
But how about his development? We had Rich Paul on the day after the draft.
Yeah, man.
Because there's a bunch of rumors about Rich Paul was telling teams, hey, you draft him, we'll send him to Australia. Like, there's a lot of those types of things happening. Allegedly, the Suns were involved. There was a chance they could get you, but he ends up with the Lakers with you.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a whole story, like LeBron James is bullying, blah, 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 blah. Everything, the way it always goes.
Of course.
This guy's not good enough. This guy's not this. And he does start out a little bit rough, NBA-wise. But now, I mean, he just dropped 39 last night in the G League. I think he had like a double-double or something. He had his best game in the NBA last week. He's obviously getting better and better. You have to be loving every moment. And how proud of Bronny are you for what he's going through? And
listen, for me as a dad,
basically this was a freak accident. Like you said, if he never played sports, they would have never knew he had this issue. But people have their conspiracies about athletes taking these shots and they experiencing blood clots and cardiac arrest. And y'all know which shot I'm talking about, the one that shut down the whole goddamn world. Pat McAfee goes to point out the fact that Bronny James, from when he entered the NBA till now, how he was criticized as the 55th pick and how he didn't deserve it from these reporters and the naysayers, and how he's performing now, putting up one of his best games, 17 points in the NBA and 39 points in the G League. LeBron James explains further on how he had a friend that also went through cardiac arrest and how he didn't bounce back as fast as Bronny James did.
Shit, it doesn't matter if he never scores, ever. For me as a dad, I'm just super proud of him, period, as a young man. For me, as a mentor and as a teammate of his, and that wants to see him thrive because I've seen the work he's put into the game, I am super proud of his development to where he is now. From the moment that, he was drafted in June of 2025 to us being now in March of 2026, his development is skyrocketed, and I just think I had a good friend of mine, who went through a cardiac arrest as well. And he told me that, it took him, and he played basketball as well. And back then when it happened to him in the early 2000s, they wasn't with going back to performing. It was like, if it happened, it's over with.
We're not rolling the dice.
Yeah, we're not rolling the dice. There was not enough data on it. It's like, you have a cardiac arrest, it is over. We don't want this on our resume. They was not going back to perform the play. And he told me, he was like, man, I'm gonna be honest, it took me about 2.5 years to finally get back to just normalcy. Like my body, my mind, and he said when it happened to me, I was 23 years old. Bronny was 19 years old, and he's like, it's gonna take a little time, and I reason with that, but also he's doing things right now less than 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's because of his determination and his will to want to get better and his will to I don't really care what y'all saying. I hear it. He did an article the other day. He was like, yeah, I hear the noise. I use it as motivation, but I also know what I'm capable of. And
we all wonder what happened to Bronny James, and now we got a little bit of insight, meaning it was a birth defect and it ain't nothing serious. I think he done grown past it and he didn't got the help that he needed. I'm rooting for him, and I always said he was gonna be a dog. I always said Bronny had it in him. He just had to build his confidence, and since he got past the health scare and he's built a resilient body, he's been showing how good he actually is.